So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. We're going to be talking about a truly dystopian future. CVS has got a lawsuit coming. It's a Massachusetts class action, and this lawsuit is saying that CVS is violating federal and state prohibitions against the use of lie detectors. So, on federal law, there's the Employee Polygraph Protection Act of 1988. It's a federal law that was enacted to prohibit most private employers from using lie detector tests either for pre-employment screening or during the course of employment. It was passed to protect employees' privacy and ensure fairness in the workplace. Important parts of the act is a prohibition on pre-employment polygraph testing. Employers are generally prohibited from requiring, requesting, suggesting, or causing any employee or job applicant to take or submit to a lie detector test as a condition of employment. In addition, as restrictions on polygraph testing during employment, it prohibits employers from requiring or requesting any employee to take or submit to a lie detector test or from using, accepting, or administering lie detector tests in connection with employment or prospective employment of that employee. There are exemptions, of course, under this act. It doesn't apply to federal, state, and local government agencies, certain private security firms, and certain employers involved in the manufacture, distribution, or dispensing of controlled substances. It's administered through the U.S. Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division, and violations of the act may result in civil penalties or fines. So, it's a pretty serious act. In addition, there's a lie detector statute in Massachusetts. It prohibits employers from subjecting employees and applicants to those tests, but it also requires a notice of job applications that it is unlawful in Massachusetts to require or administer a lie detector test. In this case that we're going to be talking about today, which is Baker versus CVS Health Corporation, Baker says that when he applied for a supply chain position, which is key, I can see a world where, for example, a pharmacist might be subject to a test like this. I could see the applicability here, but a supply chain position doesn't seem to make sense. So he applies for this position in with CVS in Massachusetts and was ultimately subject to a lie detector test, although he didn't quite know it. What they did is they did a one-way video interview with through HireVue. I hate these, personally speaking. I think they're impersonal. I understand why recruiters like it. It saves them time and so forth. But man, these HireVue video interviews are truly terrible in my opinion. I was first subject to one interviewing with Dr. Pepper Snapple. Have no idea if they still do that. That was quite a while ago. But anyway, during this HireVue interview, the applicant answers a bunch of questions that are specifically surrounding honesty and integrity. Once that recording is done, the virtual HireVue interview is done, they then take that information and give it to a third-party platform called Effectiva. And Effectiva looks at facial expressions, voice intonations, all of the other signs of lying, and uses AI to figure out whether or not that person is a fit. And it's very important that actually Baker said, well, I didn't even know it was that important. If he had known that it was a lie detector test, he wouldn't even been involved in this application, which I can understand. Like I personally would not want to work for a company who, decides to administer lie detector tests with no real reason for doing it. I mean, supply chain is completely different than something that is national security related. CVS tried to push away this claim and say that just because they may have they may have violated this law, Baker doesn't have a right to actually challenge it, which is more of a problem with the Massachusetts government, in my opinion, than anything else. So you're seeing here the use of AI technology to create violations of laws that frankly this, for example, this Employee Polygraph Protection Act of 1988 as well as the Massachusetts laws are almost unknown. I've never had personally the need to know anything about that act from an HR perspective, but because things of this nature have pulled it back up, things like AI, and again, AI is taking this reading of you and then making determinations. And I would question also whether or not there is a potential discrimination setup because If, for example, you have a disability which causes, I don't know, sweating or something of that nature, there's a world in which you are considered to be a liar because you're sweating during an interview during a lie, and there's a world in which you are then in violation of that person's disability rights. And so I think that this opens up a innumerable amount of problems for employers who are trying to do this, and frankly keeps our world a little bit more dystopian. What do you think about this use of AI during the recruiting process? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.